Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm James, you're you, and this is Atoms. Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, so we're going to be working on the Macintosh SE Schematic. Hey, Game Tech. Hey, Pete. Good to see you again. I'm looking for the files and then we'll get going because yeah, let's get this show started. I guess it's not really a show, is it? Or is it? Maybe that's something I should consider. Okay. All right, so we got that. I don't know why there's uncommitted changes. Okay, so I think we can come over here now. All right, so now 2 weeks ago we tried to do the full schematic, the full digital schematic of the SE, and the copy I have that I could find is just not legible. I was literally getting a headache while doing it. And so last week we started on the analog board, which is far more manageable, and which is actually also, it's a little more useful to me immediately because I have a couple of SEs that I'm recapping. And so it'd be nice if I had the schematic to make sure I know, to keep track of what I'm doing. So, whoa, the intro. Yeah, that's from Lone Archer Films, Grant. He has a series, so his channel is Lone Archer Films, I think. And his channel or his show name is Film Learning. And he's a guy in Australia. I can't remember if it's Australia or New Zealand, but he does, or he used to do tutorials on how to make to recreate title sequences, and that was always one of my favorites. I just got lucky. I found some stock music that matches up really well with it. The funny thing about it is when I first made the animation, and it was probably 5 years ago, to give you an idea, KiCad 5 had not been released yet, because I was working on a KiCad series when I created that intro. And what I realized is his clips, and I mean the Marvel clips, are based on people's faces, right? And up until that point, I only had about 10 minutes of on-camera footage across all of my Atoms videos, because everything was animation. I only started putting my face in the videos so that people in a certain country would stop stealing them. Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't actually have anything to show. So I had to make do. I've thought about redoing it, but the design file that I based it on, the not design file, the template file that Grant provided, doesn't work for me anymore. And I haven't, well, I don't know, maybe I should spend some time to do it. I still like it. Okay, I've babbled long enough. Now I'm trying to remember where we were. Oh, I remember now. Yeah, so we got this section done, and then we came down here where this horizontal drive is at. And let's see, we could do, maybe a good starting point will be this 7805. I guess we didn't put that in here yet. And then we got to make our way over to the transformers. That's going to be the part that I don't want to do. So I have decided, after we finish the MC10, we're going to take a break from Bit Preserve, and I want to work on a project for the Apple II. Even though I just told somebody yesterday I don't want to do any more Apple II stuff for a while. I really, really, really want to get SmartPort to work on the Mega 2. And the way to do it is I have to get the SmartPort code into the extended ROM area. And I think that will be fun to figure out. Now, fortunately, several very intelligent people in the community have examples on how to make that happen. So I think it should be straightforward, but we still have to do it. So, you were a film TV major? Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, so actually the lack of animated or scribble stuff, I do have at least one script that I wrote that would be animated like the classic Atom style. But it's going to be a while before I get to it. It's just, it takes so much. What is the auto? What's going on here? Symbol. Auto place is O. It takes a lot of work. And so, and then on the Element 14 videos, they don't pay anywhere near enough for me to do those animation styles. I mean, a 5-minute hand scribbly animated video easily takes me between 100 and 150 hours of just animating. That's not script and all the other stuff. And so while I enjoy doing it and it was fun, it's not a sustainable thing to do. And I'm nowhere near a point where I could have somebody else do it. That said, I am still continuing expanding my motion graphics capabilities, like my personal skills there. And so that's like, almost, except for the title screens on Workbench Wednesdays episodes, all of the graphics, and I'm probably forgetting one that somebody helped me with, but all of the graphics on Workbench Wednesdays were ones that I did. And so while they're not anything special, they're also not nothing. And so one of the things I really want to get into is I want, like when I'm doing, what do you call it? Screenshots or going to web pages or stuff like that. I really, really want a 3D view where the content of interest comes into the frame at an angle and then just sort of slowly moves around. CoffeeZilla is probably the best example of a channel that does something like what I have in mind. But that's sort of like, that's what I'll be, I don't know what I'm babbling about, but that's sort of the kind of thing that I'll be doing hopefully in future videos. I've actually been taking some classes on how to do better 3D work in After Effects because it's something I don't fully understand. If you have a 2GS, you should set it up. I tell you what you really want to do is get the 2GS set up and get a FujiNet, Fuji net. I don't remember if the Apple one has a different name, but FujiNet, Apple II. You get one of those and plug that onto the back of your 2GS and you're going to have a really good time. FujiNet was originally a thing that the Atari community came up with, but it's been adapted to pretty much every other vintage computer. I won't do it justice, but essentially one of the features it does is it's a Wi-Fi modem sort of thing where it will connect to websites and you can download disk images and run disk images directly, which I think is pretty cool. So that's just one of the many things it can do. Hey, Sam, good to see you. Is doing this a good way to do schematic skills? I feel like this is a really good way to learn how to draw schematics from a couple perspectives. One, I think it can help somebody to learn KiCad because it forces you to think about how do I recreate what I'm seeing here over here, right? Because you're decoupling yourself from the how does this circuit work, and you're just trying to document something that exists. And so, some people like to dismiss this as, oh, you're just copy and pasting. It's super simple. I mean, this is not the most mentally intensive task that I've ever encountered, right? This is, in fact, part of the reason I like this is because it's not super. It's kind of a chill, laid back thing to do. That's just fun. But I like it because it has taught me or helped me understand how to use KiCad far better than I used to, because it's forced me to say, like, okay, well, what's the right way to do this, right? And if you're like, if you're stuck, like if you go to the KiCad forums, you could post this picture and be like, okay, so this is part of this schematic, or I would actually post the whole schematic and put a box around it so that you're not just giving snippets and say, okay, well, how should I recreate this in KiCad, right? That's a really good question to ask instead of how do I draw this schematic, right? It doesn't really get you anywhere. So yeah, I think it's a good. Just need to learn Blender. Ha 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 ha. No, no, no. I mean, when I say 3D work, I mean more of the 3D camera, because I'm not trying to create three-dimensional objects. I'm just trying to manipulate 2D objects in a 3D space to make things more visually interesting. I actually have done, so there were Atom's videos I did where I took motors, like a DC brushed motor, and did an exploded 3D view of it. And so some of that I actually had to get models probably from GrabCAD and then make modifications to them in Blender so that I could load them into a plugin in After Effects. And so I did get a little bit of experience with Blender and 3D work. And I mean, it's definitely a tool for that. But yeah, the stuff I do, I don't really need Blender. Even though a lot of people can use, I don't know, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't have anything against it. I'm just saying it's not necessarily the tool for me. Just want to be clear. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not the tool for me today. Like, it does so many things. I don't want to dismiss the idea that I would never use it. All right, so this was, I'm going to do this. So we're going to call this 1, and we're going to do spares. Oh, this is the wrong unit. So we need to edit this symbol. Oh, you know what I'm missing is the super fancy. There we go. I still haven't gotten history mode to work yet. I need to work on that. Hey, Jack. Everyone talks about employee theft time. No one talks about employer time theft. And that's, yeah, no, I agree with that. Okay, I wasn't sure if FujiNet was on the Coco yet. I'm having a hard time keeping up with that project because it's moving so fast. For example, I bought one for my apples, but I haven't plugged it in yet. Yeah. 12 months. I mean, actually, your comment on Blender, and I always want to be careful about that because I have used it a little bit. I have a context for what it is, but I think sometimes people that haven't used it, and I'm not saying this about you, I'm just saying for other people, but I do think people that have never used it sort of misunderstand what it is, right? And it's like, yes, it can do this one thing, but it also does a dozen other things, and it actually does all of those things pretty well. And I think sometimes it's like people get kind of caught up. It's like, well, just because you learn how to make a 3D model doesn't necessarily mean you know how to make an animated video now, even though it can do it. And so to me, it's like you can get proficient at a task in Blender in a relatively short period of time, but the whole program, yeah, that's going to be a long time. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, it does lots of stuff. So that's just the way it is. I'm not sure how we're going to fit all this stuff in here. So wait, is this a 7905? Yeah. So I thought this was a 7805 up here, but then I realized it said -5 volts as I was opening up the parts window. Let me resize this window because this is going to be in the problem later. Join the FujiNet pool. Yeah. It's a fantastic tool. Like, I was so jealous of it when I was watching Josh or 48K Ram play around with one on his Atari computers as if they're real computers. I'm just kidding. We have a long time rivalry. for some reason, even though I like them just fine. But yeah, he would use his all the time, and it was like, oh, I want one of those so bad. And then when the work for the Apple version started, I was like, oh yes, I definitely want. I really want it on the Mega 2e, but it works through SmartPort, which the Mega 2e currently does not. I wonder why this pinout is different. I wonder what the package is. Huh. Because this is clearly VN. Man. So we're going to edit the symbol in place. I'm not going to put this into the library. I don't think it matters. All right. So we'll make this pin 2. We'll make this one pin 1. No. No. No, 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 no. Edit this pin 1. Save that. Close this. That should have updated automatically. It did. Yeah. Yeah, actually, so just to kind of dovetail on that is like there are companies that are, diehard, we only use open source software, and their marketing team has to learn how to use Blender to do what I can do in After Effects. And while I understand a lot of people's attitudes, that's got to be a 20 because this 21 is right next to it. A lot of people's attitudes towards Adobe, some of those attitudes I share. However, when it comes to motion graphics and compositing tools, there are others out there. There's another one called Nuke, or is it Nuke 3D? There are other tools, but none are as affordable as After Effects. And, well, I'll just put it that way. They're just not as affordable. They're probably as good, but it's sort of like a Swiss Army knife tool, right? And Blender has some motion graphics capability, but it is not a motion graphics tool. And so it gets really cumbersome to do things in Blender that are stupidly easy in After Effects. However, After Effects is just a kind of, careful how far you go with this. After Effects is a very two-dimensional tool, and so it's faking 3D, whereas Blender is the opposite. So anyway, okay, well, that has nothing to do with KiCad or what do you call it, the Macintosh SE. Where's this getting fed from? It's getting fed from -12. Okay. I wanted to make sure that this really was input and output. So we've got -12 volts coming in and -5 going out. This is actually, I'm going to point this out because I try to point this. I'll use the KiCad because it's cleaner. Because I see this is probably the biggest mistake I see people make with linear regulators is you don't want a big capacitor directly on the output of a linear regulator, because the reason is that if there's a big capacitance out here, that means this regulator is going to it's not going to see that the rail voltage is changing as fast as it's actually changing. And so it won't be able to regulate the rail as well. And so, if you're thinking, oh, but you need a big decoupling capacitor on the output, you don't. You need the big decoupling capacitor over by your load. It should be closer to the load so that the regulator can, in its very short loop, regulate the voltage of the rail. And so what you do want is you want a big decoupling capacitor on its input so that as it's dealing with fluctuations on the input, it can handle it. It has a decoupling cap, right? And so anyway, this is actually, it's weird to see this in a real circuit sometimes, because they put 220 on the input and only 100 nanofarads on the output. And if you go look at like data sheets for linear regulators, they often will say like one mic, one mic. I have noticed some will say 10 mic and 10 mic, but I think it's actually more likely what you'll see is 10 mic on the input and one mic on the output. Now, if you need, like, again, if your load may need a decoupling capacitor, but you want that big cap physically separated from the output pin of the regulator, because it's trying to regulate, or it's trying to monitor this change in output voltage as best as it can. And so if you got a big cap out there that's holding up the rail while it's sagging somewhere else, then you're going to get ripple. So the more you know. Oof. Yeah, I would hate to have an active subscription and not realize it. I mean, that's why I do want to just mention or what I should say is I am actually a fan of I'm one of the few people who don't mind the subscription model, but I also use Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, Premiere almost every single day. Like it's yeah. And so back when it was a fixed cost, I remember thinking, I was like, oh my God, I can't afford to upgrade this software every year. It was just way too expensive. And so for about the price of one application per year, I get them all. And so in my case, again, in my situation, it works out really well. Like I'm very happy I'm actually okay with it. Now, that said, I'm kind of annoyed at some of the updates they do. They're not really as good as they could be, but they're also, I don't know, arguably they would still have that same problem. So anyway, I don't know why I felt like the need I had to justify that. All right. So then we've got 5 volt and 5 volt. Okay, that looks about right. That's looking pretty good. Oh, we should do a P5. Did I put, oh, I did right there. Okay. All right, so this whole area is looking really good. I think we already have this up here. Oh, what is this? This is U3. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll go with that for the moment. Yeah, actually, Pete, I used to say that all the time, but I have been coming across some LDOs that have as high as 10 mic on their outputs, which really bothers me, especially on an LDO. But business continuity with no rights to continue using the old version. Yeah, that's a massive trade-off, and that does bug me. But again, in like my situation, it's not a concern, because if I'm using Adobe software, it's because I'm using it to make money. So, to me, so from that perspective, it doesn't matter to me. But that is a valid issue, is that what happens, why can't I use why can't I use version 6 indefinitely? And arguably even there though, that's become an issue just with I want to put this somewhere else. Just with when software stops getting supported by operating systems, then it's like, what do you do? But yeah, no, that's a valid point. I think here I'll try to bring this back to something more something more apt to what we're talking about. It's like Autodesk is completely shutting down support for Eagle. It's either this year or next year. They had an announcement like a month ago, and it was kind of I feel like it was a quiet announcement, and then it's like, whoa, this is pretty serious. Like, to the point of they are no longer going to issue licenses if you had a valid license for a previous version, right? And, that kind of sucks, because it's like, if I decided to start using Eagle 6.0 again and I don't have a copy of my license, what do I do? So it's sort of, that's sort of the other side of this. In my opinion, it's the other side of this, is that it's like, yeah, sure, you can say that I have a perpetual license, but if it's not maintained, if the software is not maintained, does it matter? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Bring this one in. I'm not sure what you mean by parent-child relationships. Yeah, actually, I've heard good things about the Infinity Suite. And if they had a motion graphics tool, I would probably give it more look. I mean, I even use so when I had a job where I didn't have access to Adobe tools, and so I ended up using GIMP and Inkscape and stuff like that. And so there are definitely alternatives, except for After Effects. Hey Christian, good to see you again. Hey, did I catch you in BitLooney's Twitch the other day? Was that yesterday? I was like working on something, and so I had him on my phone, but I didn't have chat open. And so I thought I saw your name pop up when I looked at one of the times. So I'm still not sure if I follow Pete, because like IC1A, IC1B in KiCad, that nomenclature is for like the units of a multi-unit component. So like the fourth unit of a NAND gate, it gets D. And then if I wanted to place the, oh wait, I need to do this. And then if I wanted to place the power supply rails, it's usually the last unit, right? But I don't think that's what you're talking about. Yep, you are correct. Thank you. I totally, what's funny about that is I saw it in the schematic and I said to myself, don't do what I did. And then I ended up doing it. Yeah, thank you. All right. So I'm not entirely certain what this schematic is trying to show with what looks like dots on these two coils. So I don't know if that actually means something, if they're a tap, or if it's just the way that this is drawn. But for the moment, I'm sort of going to ignore that because I don't know what that is. If anyone has any ideas, let me know. So KiCad will, just to demonstrate, I think, so I think if you put the right answer to your question is no, it doesn't do it automatically. Let me just show you. Like if I put 1, 2, 3, 4, so it automatically placed the ABC units, but it, oh, you know what though? Hold on. Annotate. I turned off automatic annotation because when you're recreating a schematic, it actually gets in the way. I would prefer the question marks because it means I forgot to set it. So yeah, KiCad will do, technically if you place them all at the same time, it'll do it. But like watch what happens if I do this now. So I did that. Let's say I did 5. And then I go and create another one, right? And then another one and another one. And so every single time I create another NAND gate, it's creating a new parent. So that's why I say the correct answer is no, it doesn't do it automatically. But yeah. Unused taps. Hey, Squire. Yeah, that's what I'm sort of wondering. Maybe because it's like 1, 2, 3. I don't know where 4 would be. 5 or 1. Maybe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I'm just going to ignore it. Maybe it's a bad idea, but I just don't think it matters enough. It's not like you can go to DigiKey and buy this transformer anyway. So, all right. All right, so this was supposed to, where's this going? Okay, cool. So this whole thing, we should move this up to about here and do one of these. There we go. And look at that. We got ourselves a whole section. How did that happen? Winding direction? Yeah, I don't know. The multi-unit stuff, I'm glad it's there. It works well enough, but I'm sure it could use some work. Yeah, see, this one has dots too. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? I'm just because I'm not 100% sure what that communicates. Turns out I don't know everything. As if I have to actually say that. Although sometimes I feel like I do. I'm just gonna do this because I don't really know what else to. I just want to duplicate what it has, and then that way, maybe if I learn what that means, I can put some context there. I just feel like if it's in, I changed my mind. I was originally thinking it doesn't matter. And then it's like, well, if it didn't matter, it wouldn't be in the schematic to begin with. All right. So now we need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is this? 1. Oof. I don't know what the designator is. I just want a basic transformer. None of these work. All right, we'll take this one. No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it doesn't. We're gonna create it anyway. All right, so we've got. One. And then we need a pin to go for 2. I'm pretty sure. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move this over just a little bit, just so that it's not so gross. All right, and we'll make that pin 2. And then we can move. Let's take this out because this is not the correct definition. Oh wait, symbol name. Okay, you know, I'm just, what is this? T2. All right. Since this is specific to this schematic, I'm just putting this into the symbol. I don't see that being a huge problem. And then I want it, oh, what I was trying to do is the description. I want it to delete that. Okay. So this now becomes, we're going to put this down here. And then let's grab this one. No. There we go. All right, let's move this up here. Okay, so we got 1, 3, and then this will be 4. And then over here, we'll bring this one. So then we got one of these. Actually, let's copy both of these things. I want both of those. I'm going to rotate this because we're going to say 7 right here. Oh, I was going to make this shorter because I think that's way too long. So just make it like 100 mils. We'll make this one a little bit shorter. We'll make that 100 mils. Yeah, that works. And then we can move this down. All right. Nope. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Because then this can come back up to, we'll put it there. Actually, that's not where I'm going to put it. This should line up with that one. And then we'll make this be 8. You're an 8. It has to do with the phase or out of phase voltages? Okay. Those sound like words I remember hearing once. So, bad news. Next week, there was supposed to be a Workbench Wednesdays episode coming out. It does not look like it will happen. They'll probably move it to the week after. I'm still not done with that video. And I almost thought to not stream and work on it, but it doesn't matter because by the time I'm going to finish it, nobody's going to work on it until next week anyway. So it's like, okay, well, all I'll say is, so there won't be a Workbench Wednesdays next week, but there will be a new add-ons video. I have an important message that I want to deliver, and so I will be delivering that in the next video. It's not necessarily an update. I don't like update videos, but it's some news that I want to share that has come to light. So, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is 6. Actually, I'm not going to name it because there's no number on here. We'll just do it that way. All right. I think that mostly gets what we need. No, come back. There. And then let's bring this up to about there. No, what'd you do that for? You know what? I seriously think the switch on my mouse might be going out because there's been multiple times recently where it's acting like I'm releasing before I do. And I haven't convinced myself it's the mouse yet because it does only seem to be in certain applications, but I think I'm just noticing it in certain places. Yeah, you're right. There are dots on this one. Thank you. This is actually why I went back and added the other ones, because I saw it in this one. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. You know what we're going to do? I am going to change all of these to be 100 mils because this is ridiculously big. All right. So for those that don't know, I'm not using the property manager very much because there is a bug related to changing values in the property manager. What I just did, where I selected a bunch of things and changed the value, it doesn't cause the bug, but there are other similar things that do. And so okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it here and here. Nope. Why? Oh, okay. I see what's going on. I can get away with that because we're going to come up around this way. Okay. We'll do it that way. So anyway, that's why I'm not using the property manager much, because it's not always working as expected. All right. I want to go and change this one too. I meant to make these dashed. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Blame. Well, you know, it's funny. It's funny because since we were already talking about that, I actually blame After Effects for killing it, just because there's so many, like, so the way After Effects works is you put things together as layers. And so like when I draw like, say like just a box or parts of a schematic that are connected with wires, if I want to change elements of the wires, you have to like twirl down so many times to do so many things. It's just, it's incredible. And then just editing video in general, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if videos were on the order of 100,000 clicks to create. I wonder if there's a utility that could actually track it. That would be kind of a, I was going to say an interesting number, but I'm actually, I need to turn off auto numbering. I don't want that. Because this is T2 1. Yeah, okay. All right. So something about this is supposed to come over here. And then this is supposed to come to here. And then this capacitor. Oh, I can start talking about this, I think. I better look before I say it out loud. I'll have links and stuff in social media. I don't have a link today. But on April 17th, 1 p.m. Central US time, I will be doing a webinar in partnership with Hyoki USA. And get this, just bear with me. If you can imagine this topic, I'm going to talk about capacitors. So we're going to talk about how to make capacitor measurements with an LCR or an impedance analyzer. And so they've got a really nice impedance analyzer. And yeah, I think that'll be fun. Basically what I want to show is just that, you know, just like everything with caps, that if you try to make a measurement on an electrolytic the same way you do on a ceramic, you're going to have a bad day. And, you know, it's like, and if you are, because like, you know, one time somebody asked me for the DC bias curve of a aluminum electrolytic, and I'm not saying that there wouldn't be a DC bias, but it's like, yeah, no, that's not what you're worried about. So, you know, stuff like that. I think it'll be fun. Unwanted double clicking. Yeah, it's not it's not double clicks. It's like if I click and drag, sometimes the mouse acts as if I release the button, and then shortly after re-engaged it. And so it really feels a lot like the button is losing contact and then recontacting while in motion. However, it's not across all applications. I'm trying to remember what was actually the program I was using when it really was bothering me. What was I doing? It might have been Photoshop. But I feel like it's something that I don't use very often, and that's what made me even more mad. Because I was like, why does this keep... Oh, wait a minute. I already have these things. Wait a minute. Slow down. We already drew this part of the schematic. So, yeah. So we just need to move this up. I'm going to use G and drag this up to here, and then reconnect that. Man, what was I doing? It had to be something like Photoshop, because I haven't used Fusion in a long time. Anyway. Anyway. I would definitely recommend you don't try to reflow an electrolytic with hot air while not wearing safety glasses. That is a good tip. If only someone would have shared a video with me on that. Okay, I just realized this is all part of this symbol. It's a built-in filter. I'm not excited about this. Yeah, for those that don't catch the reference, I did release a short yesterday. So YouTube has shorts, which are like vertical 2-minute videos, 1-minute videos. And it was from a live stream from probably like 2 years ago. We were repairing, I had this portable, this handheld portable power supply. It's Tenma branded, but it's actually, I think it's from a company called Tech Power, TEKPOWER, not related to Tektronix. And so it's like a 30 or 40 volt switch mode power supply that's about the size of a DMM. I really liked it. Like it was great to have as just a quick general purpose power supply. But nope. But it had a sudden interaction with the ground one day, and ever since then, it wouldn't turn on. And so we took it apart. On stream, we took it apart and kind of figured out that, a couple of the MOSFETs had gone bad and a few other things. And so we repaired it and it started working. Now, then another problem cropped up and I realized, the voltage regulator that it uses needs to be replaced. But I couldn't find the part in the package we needed. And so I ended up buying boards on Amazon, like switch mode power supply like modules that had the same chip, because I was like, all right, we'll just take the chip out of here, we'll put that into our into the power supply, and at the very least it'll be like, okay, at least be able to see if this is the problem. Anyway, so I was trying to remove the IC from the little breakout board, and I was using hot air, and while heating it up, the big electrolytic next to the chip exploded in my face. So so then I reminded myself that I always wear safety glasses while soldering. So anyway, yeah, you can see that short on the channel. Electrolytics love heat. That's why they have the degrees printed on them. I am so going to steal that. It's a great joke. Oh, yeah, I don't think that's how that works. Yeah, I was so mad at myself that day because I'm always saying, wear safety glasses, wear safety glasses, wear safety glasses, because I see people all the time, like, and I'm trying to remember, I think it was an Element 14 video where I said to wear safety glasses while soldering, and people, oh no, you know what, I know what I'm thinking of. It was on Reddit. Somebody had brought up, should you wear safety glasses while soldering? And Ask Electronics just went nuts. Like, it was like, why would you waste your time putting them on? And a bunch of other BS. And it was just like, yeah, no, thanks. There was one time I was desoldering something, and it was the shield from a Commodore 64 board. So the Commodore 64 has its EMI shield on the bottom of the PCB with little tabs that come up around the side and then solder onto the ground plane. And so you have to heat up those blobs. And they're like little blobs. So you heat up the blob and bend the tab. And I did that one time, and my iron slipped, and it caused the blob to go flying, and it, like, a little bit of solder hit me right here in my cheek. Now, in that case, I was wearing my glasses. So even if it had, I would have had some protection. But ever since then, it's like I prefer to solder with I prefer to solder with safety glasses because stuff like that happens. And so that's why I was so mad that day that the cap exploded, because I had, it's like a lot of things. I should have had them on, and I'm lucky that something didn't happen, because and like in that clip, you can actually, I'm a little stunned because there was a piece of the cap hit my eye, like right about here, or near my eye. And I was like, yeah, that could have been a bad day. Anyway, so that's what that's about. Yeah, it's kind of like VI versus Emacs, right? Except I feel like this one is, I think what irritates me about people saying adamantly that you don't need safety glasses while soldering, I mean, I just feel like you're welcome to your opinion, but that's your opinion and that's your choice, right? You can say, I don't believe you need them, or I don't wear them. That's fine. But there were people like, basically calling each other stupid for wearing safety glasses. It's like, and actually anytime, that's something I see a lot. Anytime safety glasses comes up, it's like, there's like this badge of honor of, well, I can do this without them. And it's like, okay, fine. But I mean, what are you going to do? Like, what if something happens, like in my case, right? 1 inch, and it would have been a very different stream. Yeah. And actually, and so just to back up, part of why what happened in my case is that I normally, when I solder, I wear my glasses, because if I take my glasses off, then I get instant magnification to inspect a circuit. So it's like I solder, and then I take the glasses off, hold the board next to my face, and then I go back to what I'm doing. And so I forget when I'm on camera and wearing contacts, I need to put safety glasses on, because I am so used to soldering with my glasses. And arguably, safety glasses with proper shielding would still be a better choice. But at least, especially with liquid solder, it's going to be really tough for something to get up underneath a lens. And so, and hey, it's better than nothing. But that's just to be the reason I'm like, yeah, you should always wear glasses. And then why wasn't I? Well, I'm not saying that this is a good reason. It's a terrible reason, but it's why. And it's the same thing. It's like, it's always like, that's how accidents happen, right? You get really comfortable with something and you forget to be careful. So anyway, Anyway, enough of that. It was a fun clip. I wanted to share it for a long time. And the other day I was like, you know what? It is time. I just make it. Like, there was an issue with the focus, and that really kept me from wanting to share it for a long time. And I noticed what I've realized now is it's had a couple thousand views between YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And not a single comment on the fact that the first shot is blurred. Like, all this time I was worried about what people would think, and nobody cares. It's like, oh, okay. I clearly worried about the wrong thing. Wonder why I picked up a simulation diode. Old pair of Psychic glasses with the clear lenses installed. If they can take a rock, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, and that's actually, that's why I got freaked out the time the blob of solder came at me, is because what I was thinking about is, you're not going to get like you're actually not going to probably see the solder that's coming, because it's going to be a small droplet, but that's molten metal. Or if it solidifies on its way to your eye, now it's a shard of metal, right? And it's like, no, that you need just a little bit of protection there. You know, it's you maybe you don't need like bulletproof polycarbonate, but although I guess my glasses are polycarbonate, but still, yeah. Anyway, just having something there, and I guess now I'm back on it, and I didn't want to be. What really bugs me about people's attitudes on safety glasses is it takes no effort to wear them, you know? And so it's like, just put them on. Like, whatever. Anyway, I feel like we're all on the same page, so we don't really need to keep rehashing this. I'm glad to know that other people are safe. They try to stay safe while soldering. Or soldering. God. Oh, one of my favorite. Every video I've ever done where I talked about soldering, somebody complains about the way I say it. And then there was a video, and I don't remember which one it was. It was probably like the Flux video, but I don't remember, where I intentionally said solder and solder randomly. Like, I don't remember if I put it in the script or if I just, when I was recording it, I just tried to think about to swap the words every once in a while. And somebody complained that it was distracting that I kept saying it different. I'm just like, okay, I can't win. If I say it one way, people get mad. If I say it another way, people get mad. If I say it both ways, people get mad. And it's just like, get over it. Just get over it. It's like, who cares? Everybody knows what I'm talking about, so it doesn't matter. I am going to do it this way because I want that to match the way they did it. What am I missing here? There was R21, 1 meg, half watt. C19 is a polarized 10 microfarad. We'll use this one, and it's upside down. Okay. You know, I don't fully understand these. So this is I just realized I never said this. So the analog board is basically, it looks like 165. That doesn't sound right. It's basically just the board to drive the CRT on the Macintosh, and this is probably the second. I guess this is only the second CRT schematic I've done, and I'm starting to recognize similarities. Why do I feel like I did a third one? Maybe I just remember looking at, because we did a stream where we redrew the Apple IIc monitor, which we also fixed that one on a stream. And then I've looked at, I've looked at the 2GS monitor because I have one that is in really bad shape. I don't know if I'm going to be able to repair it. Whoa, I don't know what just happened. I just saw that. Squire. What are my tip? I'm backing up. My thoughts on low temp bismuth solder. I actually have a Workbench Wednesdays video on low temp solder, which I cover bismuth. I like bismuth, the bismuth based solder. I do not like the indium based solder. I think that's the other low temp compound. It just doesn't seem to work as well for me for a variety of reasons. But the bismuth solder, so if you're doing repair work on a board with leaded solder, it is absolutely fantastic because bismuth and lead, well, the interaction of lead and bismuth reduces the melting point. And so especially if you're doing like a vintage repair, it's fantastic because you need way less heat to work on it. It does help with lead-free solder, but it's not nearly as impactful. Now, the downside of that is if you mix lead and bismuth, then you have to understand you've changed the melting point. So like if you have something like a regulator or a transistor or something that gets up to over 140 degrees C, then you may actually not want to even put bismuth near it, or you have to do a really good job of cleaning it. One of its biggest downsides is compared to even SAC or lead-free, it is far more brittle. And so if you have anything that's mechanical in nature, you may want to rethink using bismuth. Now, when it comes to soldering new boards, I almost always use a bismuth-based solder paste because it reflows at 138. So let's see. So 10 lead is normally 183, and bismuth is 138. So you just swap the two numbers. And so it reflows well below 200 degrees C, which makes it really easy to run through a reflow oven. The only thing I would say about that is if you're using a hot plate or a reflow oven with bismuth, you really, really, really need to soak for a couple of minutes around 100 degrees C. 100, maybe maximum 120, because you have to give time for the flux to activate. Since reflow happens at such a low temperature, the flux in the paste doesn't necessarily have enough time to activate. So you really want to sit at a soaking stage so that you give the flux time to do its thing. But once you learn how it works, I prefer it. I'm all about it. So yeah, I don't know, Pete. I don't think that would be an 8. That doesn't make sense for a cap rating. 165 doesn't make sense either, but here, let's at least do this since you saw the same thing I did. Should be able to just look at that cap and see what it's rated at. So oof, working on a plasma display and not realize. Okay. $470K, 47 pico. Yeah, I just think it's funny you thought the same thing I did. I just can't imagine why you would have a cap rated at such a weird voltage. All right, so we need a potentiometer. Potentiometer small. Rotate this around. So it's going to be R23, and it's going to be 1 meg. Let's move this over just one. That'll come up to here. Goes to 470. That comes up to here. This is the 2647. And then this is going to come down, back, up, and over. And then we're going to do a ground. Watch, we're going to get somewhere on here and find out that there's two different ground symbols being used. One for chassis, one for circuit. And then this becomes over here. All right. Okay. Let's do brightness. What did I just do? Brightness. 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 All right. Did I spell? I still don't feel like I spelled that right. Whatever. Okay, so then we have this. I'm just going to come out to here. And then let's do a label called grid 1. Whoa, what happened? I must have caps enabled. All right. And that comes off of R21. And then R27, we haven't done yet. Oh, okay, Squire. I got distracted. I see what you meant. Whoops. Oh, come on. Really? There. That's close enough. Nah, I don't like that. That's messy. There we go. All right. That looks better. I think that's what they want it. There we go. Yeah, because this goes up, diode, comes back down. So a little snubber, I guess. Linearity goes out there. CR5 comes over here. Okay, let's do CR5, then we'll come back and do this cutoff circuit. Nope, change my mind. We're going to do this. I want to build this up because I have a feeling we're going to have to move stuff otherwise. So would it be better to do it the other way? Because CR4, we should have had a wire come through from here. Wait. CR4 comes to another megapot, I guess. And then this is going to come up to here. And then we're going to have a regular resistor come to here. Nope. All right, I'm going to move this up here. Move this to here. We're going to edit this and go 25. And then we'll do a ground over here. I'm going to turn off ground on it just because, no, there's enough. Yeah, because that cutoff is we're going to need a little bit of space for that. So let's go grab this and, ooh, this is tight. Okay, so what we can do, let's move this down to about here. So we can move this down to about here. So we can bring this down, and then I should be able to grab all of these and G to drag those down. Let's change this before I forget. Okay. This is 24, and it's 2 meg. I'm not sure how we're going to fit this in unless I bring this back up and this over. I put this like right here. And then we bring this line this way. There we go. I got there. I got there. Okay. Fair enough. There. I think that gets a little closer. Yeah, that looks much better. Thank you. Okay. So this somehow has something here. Man, this whole section is going to need a review because I'm getting confused. Okay, so somehow this has to fit like here, and then this has to come to here, and then that's going to come out that way. So I could do something a little more like this. Let's move this down here, move this to here. Move this over. Oh, what? Oh, I did move instead of drag. So G to drag that over. And then let's bring this to, oh, I see what I was doing. I was bringing that down a little bit. And then we can move this over to about here maybe. And then we can move this to there and move this to here. What we might get away with is then do something like this. That might make it happen. How old schematics will do like 23, 24, and then jump to 30. Yeah, actually, I feel like if you see that, you can. That's probably a good indication that it's a later revision. Especially if it's caps. They probably said, "Oh, we don't need these decoupling caps. What do you need a decoupling cap for?" All right, so then this one comes up here. All right, so this is gonna, I'll come in this dialog. So instead of clicking on the designator, I'm gonna click on the symbol so I can change all the fields at once without having to open up 3 dialogues. I think that's an 8. Oh, it's gotta be an 8 because well, no, it's resistors. 15, 16, 14, 12. 11. Yeah, I think that's 10 over here. So this must be the 8. So C18, 22 microfarads, and 50 voltages. All right, let's do that. And then that's going to come out here. So we can bring these down just one click. All right, so if I did this right, we should now have grid 4, grid 2, and plus, ooh, I don't know if this is 30 or 38 volts. Is there, what would be a clue? Well, if I knew the specs of the transformer, that would be a clue. What's on the other side? I'm inclined to go with 38 because I don't think there would be a round number, but I don't know. Let's do a text box. Unclear if plus 30 or plus 38. We'll just add a note. I'll make that orange. There. And then worry about that later. Yeah, I kind of was thinking this is the slash and that's a slash, but I'm just getting this vibe that it wouldn't be 30. That's clearly a slash. I just feel like this, because I'm pretty certain this is C18 since there's already a C10 and C17 is pretty close by. But I guess if you look at like 50, this looks okay. All right. We'll go with 30 for now. I think there's more evidence that it's closer to 30 than an 8. But that shouldn't be too hard to figure out. I should be able to poke that with a multimeter and we'll just see what it is. All right. I need this symbol so that we can start doing, paste, rotate. All right, and this is going to be P2-12. Nope. That's going to be 7. I'm pretty sure this is 10. And this is 12. I'm not doing the insert trick because these aren't in order, so it wouldn't bias anything. Yeah, actually, when I'm putting in my notes to verify, that's more or less what I'm telling myself, is that when I go to recap the board, I'll either look at components or measure a component or measure a voltage or something, and then that way we can get better information about the schematic. So that's why I keep putting the notes in. Also, if I forget to ever do that or don't ever get around to it, I want somebody to, like, if they're looking at the schematic, to know that I don't have high confidence that this is correct. Because I've talked about this before, but I'll talk about it again. Even when I use schematics in the BitPreserve archive, I almost always open up the original schematic along with it, because it's easier to navigate and do things in the KiCad version. But I also want to verify that if whatever I see in KiCad matches what's in the original schematic, which is another reason that I like to try to organize them very similar to each other, because I want to be able to just look at it. And you might argue, well, if that's the case, why even bother? It's like, well, it's easier to search the KiCad thing. It's much easier to, in my opinion, it's pretty easy to just spot check something and say, okay, I have confidence that this is similar enough or close enough to what I need. The problem is nobody's going back to verify any of these. And so it would be foolish to just assume that there's no mistakes. I mean, there's no mistakes in the ones I do. Everything that you might consider a mistake, I'm doing on purpose so that I can have a teaching moment and create content. It would be silly to think that I make mistakes. That just doesn't happen. I haven't done for a really long time. This is scary. I haven't saved. Oh. There could also be revisions on the actual board that aren't in the schematic. There's also that aspect too. I think the probably the best example of that is Commodore. In terms of vintage computers, I'm probably exaggerating, but I think there's like a dozen circuit board variations for the C64, whereas the Apple II Plus have like 7. Now, even that's quite a bit, but they're not like major revisions. I guess that is still quite a bit, so never mind. That's not making my point. L ferrite, or is it coupled? Oh, that's what the dots mean. Oh, okay. Okay, that deals with the phase. Okay. All right, fine, whatever. I don't actually know what this symbol is with the lines connected together on top of each other. We'll go ahead and make whatever that is. I don't know what it is. These aren't dashed. Oh, that's too funny. These are individual line segments. Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to do. Delete that. I'm going to grab the polygon tool and I'm going to come down here. Oh, what's going on? There. Oh, come on. I hit escape to stop drawing and it deleted it. You're deleted. Whatever. There we go. And now I'm going to move this. I'm going to change my grid. I'm going to move this. No. The grid override's not working the way I want. All right. Whatever. That's about as close as I'm going to get on that. So we got no value. I don't know what a rhombus over a coil means. I don't think I've seen that one before. Watch, it's going to be like the super common one that I should have known. All right, so then we need a resistor from somewhere. There we go. Here we go. 220. It's gotta be, almost looks like an 8 to me. R19. Let's do this one. There. Yeah. So just true story. One of my favorite attempts at insults on from trolls is I get you're not as funny as you think you are. And I always think that one is super funny because I don't think of myself as particularly funny. Like I think I do a decent job at making jokes, I think. But, I was like, I don't consider myself, I know my jokes are bad. I don't, it's like that. It's like, I get it. So this is actually a polarized or this is a bipolar capacitor. And so what it is, and this symbol actually shows it really well. And this is something that's really common in CRTs, and I don't know why yet. I need to dive into 30 volts, 3 point something microfarads is common in CRTs, and I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but I've seen this a bunch, and it's always a bipolar cap, which is really strange or really weird because you can't really buy this particular set of values anymore. Anyway, yeah, I don't think I'm as funny as an insult trying to say you're not as funny as you think you are is actually funny to me because I don't think I'm that funny. So it's like, duh. I know you are, but what am I? All right, we're going to turn off the, I'm going to change the grid. Where is the grid at? In the symbol editor, I want 10 mils for the graphics. There we go. And then I want to paste this to be about there. And let's move this up to here, this to here. All right, so that's where we're going to get into a little bit of trouble. But we're just going to modify. There we go. Actually, that works out really, really well. That's probably good. All right. So now we can. Oh, you know what? I need to change. I need to get rid of the plus. There we go. Yeah, this is actually the first time I've seen this symbol. I actually like it. I like it because I think it's more descriptive about what's going on. Oh, that's not right. I think it's more descriptive because actually the way you make a electrolytic bipolar capacitor is you put you actually tie the two cathodes together, which is actually, this is actually drawn wrong. I just realized that. You tie the two cathodes together, and then the two anodes become the bipolar terminals. And in a real, like an electrolytic can, what they actually do is normally the foils are like either the anode or cathode, and then you roll them up. So what they do is they alternate, and every other layer, I think it's every other layer, the foil has a line down the middle of it that literally splits it in half. And so you end up with two caps technically in series with each other. And so it ends up becoming a bipolar cap. And so it's much more space efficient than putting two caps next to each other, but it's also, you get half the capacitance you would if it was a standard electrolytic. So anyway, it's really cool. It's a really cool thing. Now, what I was getting at earlier is if you go buy, you can buy like a, what's the, is 3.9? What's the E24 value? E24 series. I forgot. Where's the table at? Okay, so you can get a 3.4 or 3.9, but because like the Apple IIc monitor had like a 3 or 3.1 mic, you can get like a couple of these values in a bipolar cap today, but they are literally a tenth of the size, maybe a fourth of the size. Okay, not literally, like a fourth of the size. And so their impedance is not the same. There's no way they can handle the amount of ripple current that the older parts do. So, yeah. The other place you'll see audio you'll see bipolars, and then RS-232 has bipolars as well. Generally, that way just handle the positive and negative voltages in RS-232. But that's another place you'll see bipolars. Now, in those cases, the ripple current capability isn't nearly as important because they're not, well, at least in the case of RS-232, they're not really handling much. What is a variable inductor called? Trim? All right. This is L2. And of course, since it's an inductor, it's illegal to have a property or a value associated with it. I don't understand why. All right, and this is going to be width. And then that's going to come out to here. All right, I'm going to hit O to reset the label. And then come up here, and that'll be P14. So we had C15, 3.9, 35 volt. I don't have a clue what this is. It's almost like M.8, but what would that be? I'm gonna make this bigger. What is this? Where's, now I'm lost. It's gotta be down here. There's T1. Almost looks like M.E, but it'd be like capital M, lowercase e, which doesn't make sense. I have no idea what that is. I'm looking at this thing right here. We'll just add a text that says that look like M.E. Because I'm just not sure what that's supposed to be. And then I'm going to draw a line. Yeah, I meant to do this. And then let's do the, oh, no polygon tool. No polygon tool? Well, how am I supposed to make a triangle? What? All right, I'll use shift space to enable 45-degree angles. That works. And then I want to highlight these. I'll open up the property manager. I'm going to make the color orange. There. Oh, yeah. You're right. It's NP. Okay. So you know what? I'm going to just do what they did. I'm just going to do this. Yep, that's what it is. Thank you. There, we'll do it that way. Good call.
There was much rejoicing.
Yay. Oh no. I did not think you were trying to make an insult. your comment just reminded me of people that do that. So sorry, I did not mean, I had no negative, I did not mean to respond negatively, and I did not think you were being negative. I just, it made me think of people that say that other comment. So that's why. My bad. I wasn't trying to. We're good. We're good. Sorry. I totally see how what I said could be taken that way. All right. What's going on over here? Yeah, so all of these can move up now because this all comes up to here. And that looks so much nicer. Oh, look at that. I better save again. Okay. Wow. Boy, this goes really fast when I'm talking and not paying attention to what I'm doing. I just hope it's right. Okay. Where are we at now? Wow, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Hold on. P2. Okay, so that, okay. Yeah, so this actually now we can line this back up. See, this schematic will actually be fun to print this one out and compare it, just because there's like a whole bunch of parts and stuff versus like the digital schematics where it's just, you know, this IC and this IC are connected with this bus. And that's just kind of like, yeah, it's just not fun to. Like this one, I probably will print out the original and this one, and then compare them because I think that'll be kind of fun. All right. So where does that put us? So most of this section is done. We have the brightness. I haven't done whatever this is. All right, so we were headed towards that. Yep, I see. Okay, so let's do this because I think I know how I want to do this. Because what I'm stuck on is they're showing like this other stuff getting connected. But this has a part number on it. But this is just the power supply. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I'm not going to make this a component. Hey, RJ Helms, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Okay, let's see. Edit 1. And then if I references must start with a number. Shoot. Okay. So what if I said P3 1? Will it let me do this now? No. Can I do this? No. How do I want to do this? I want to. Okay, I give up. What we're gonna do? I just want to do this. I want P3 and then 10, and then 6, and then 5. I can't think of how to use the insert command to do this. And then 4, and then 9, and then 1, to... I guess we should have just made this a connector. Oh well. I chose to do it this way, and now it's just going to be this way. Okay. All right. And then, so all of these, oh, shift space, get rid of that. There we go. All of these are going to be ground. Oh, what I could have done is I could have drawn that. No, it's not going to work. The spacing's off. All right, so that went 10, 6, 5, 4, 9, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. Got it. And those are all ground. And then 4 and 9 are going to connect to each other. All right. And then where does 4 connect to? 4 is the 5 volts line, which is this one. So we're going to bring this to here. And then we're going to highlight this stuff. I'm going to move this up. And then this must be the 12 volt line. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Perfect. I lined it all up. Almost looks like I know what I'm doing. I really don't. All right. And then this one, which we had mistakenly done earlier, connects to there because that's the negative 12. And then the 10 connects to L1. 10 comes up. There's a 5 watt resistor. Uh-oh, I think we're missing something. Oh, here it is. So it's up here. No. What? L1 connects to the 5 watt. I see it now. So is this R17? It is. Okay. Okay, so this is the 12 volt. That's what it wants to be connected to 12 volts is what's going on. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to draw it this way. Not to clean it. Oh, well, you know what we can do. There's no reason this has to be here, so I can just move this over. And we'll just do it this way, and then that gets the same place. Nice. All right. Now, I would like to add these notes, even though I don't really care, but this is a good thing to note. So let's do plus 12 volt sweep red. What's the shortcut? Control enter. All right, and then for the moment, we're going to change our grid override for text. Actually, I'm just going to turn this off because I'm already at 25. And I want this stuff to line up and not be off grid. So negative 12 volts, green, control enter. Text plus 12 volts, yellow, control enter. Plus 5 volts, orange, control enter. And I'll copy and paste that one. And then the rest are ground. All right, ground, black. Imagine that. All right, let's move this over. And then we're gonna do this. And then this. And then this. And then this. Oh, I see what I did. I know what's going on now. Just move this and then clean this up. Clean this up. Dun, 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 dun. That looks really good. I like that. Okay. That was quick and easy. All right. So I think what that leaves is basically this block up here. Right? Yeah, it's the deflection yoke. Which is only like a couple of things. So let's just figure this out. Yeah, okay, thank you. Save. Save it. Save it. Okay. I'm going to copy and paste this symbol, and then we're going to edit this, and we're going to edit the symbol. I'm going to save as, and this is going to be connector off board. Okay, I'm going to call this receptacle off board Macintosh SE, and then I'm just going to we're going to do this and this. All right. So wait, I want to save a copy as we're going to overwrite that. I don't care about this. I think I just screwed up. Yeah. All right. So what I wanted to do is I had wanted to do edit this symbol. All right. We need to do save a copy as RECP in this library. Okay. I'm going to close this. I'll let that save, and I want to save that because now I want to be able to add RECP, this one, and then I'm going to edit library symbol. I got to find that. I got to figure out a better way. That was rough. There. So now I've created a copy of, I basically wanted to just reuse this symbol, but rename it. I should have just gone into the library and done it manually. So, importing into, yeah. So with, I think it was with 7, it was 6 or 7 that I think it was version 6 that the library format changed. And so in order to import, you had to like decide, one of them had to be, let me back up. I haven't run into too many issues importing things into newer versions after updating my library, but I feel like I tried to import something that was an old library and I had to migrate it or something. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Long story short, no. I'm trying to think. The problem, the reason I'm struggling to answer your question is because the last major library update I did was version 6. And I remember like I was like kind of struggling with keeping version 5 and 6 libraries around. And then I think I ended up and then after 6, I got everything converted and it was no longer an issue. So with what I can say is with 7 and 8, I have not had trouble with libraries, but I do know with 6, which is when I think the version, when it changed, the format changed, I had a lot of, I don't know if issues are the right word. So I think these are the actual coils on the back of the CRT gun. Endured pain and suffering. Yeah, it was not a. I mean, I get why the developers had to change the format, but it was not a happy change for me. So, I mean, again, I just mean it caused pain and suffering, and the problem was, and this is why I'm struggling with answering the question. The problem I ran into is I very much wanted to keep versions 5 and 6 at the same time, and part of the reason was it was right around the time I think 6 was released. Around the time I started doing I was trying to remember, I don't remember, but it was a stage of the Mega 2 project, and I was like, you know what, I just realized I did this all wrong. I was like, I do not want to transition this project because, just from I don't like making major changes at certain stages of a project, right? And so it's like, yes, so anyway, that's why I'm having trouble, because 5 and 6 was the pain point, but I haven't felt that same pain with 7 or 8. Okay, what I should have done is this in the first place. This should have been red, and then this should have been blue, and then this is green, and this is yellow. KiCad does have an autosave, but I think I'm at 10 minutes. Oh wait, you know what? Actually, now you say that, I think I dropped it to like 3 minutes or something really stupid. Yeah, I dropped it down to 3 minutes because we kept running into, and this is why I'm not using the property manager, is because using the property manager would occasionally cause a crash. And it was just like, yeah, I don't want to handle that. All right, I can move this over. Oh, I see. So this was supposed to line up with, this is gross. How are we going to get, see what's going on? So 1 and 2 are supposed to line up to each other, and then 4 and 3 are supposed to line up to each other. Okay, I know how I'm going to fake this. I got it. So we're going to do this. I'm going to move this up. I got to move this. I guess I could have moved this up. Oh, well. Okay. So that lines up to that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this whole thing over so that 4 lines up, and then I'm going to move 3 to be like right here. And I'll grab these and drag these. I hit M. I meant to hit G. I did it on the 4 too. All right, so we can do this, and then I can drag this. And then this will come around like this. And then we'll edit this, and we'll make this dashed. So then we need a deflection yoke. Oh, what are these blobs? 1 5 9 0 0 1 9. Is that how you spell illegible? Yeah. Okay. For all the pain points in KiCad over the years, as someone started. That's a good point, RJ. Sometimes I feel like the only reason I like a lot of the changes is because it's like, oh, I remember how bad this used to be. And it's like, yeah, it's just nice. Hey, GB, good to see you. Hey, I saw some messages from GitHub. Sounds like you're working on your Z80 project. I hope that's going well. All right, so let's grab. I'm not entirely certain what these lines are showing, but I'm gonna draw them in anyway. I guess it's trying to say or show that this stuff is all connected, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. That's a wire. That's not a graphic. But we'll fill it in anyway. It looks nice. There. Ah, it looks nice, and then I mess it up. Okay. Okay. Zoom that out, and then that goes down there. And then is there the same thing over here? Yep. Why did I do this? Why did I do this myself? All right. So there's a line here from 5 to 12. And then from 7 to 6. And then from here to here. And then somehow we get from here up to here. All right, so then we can bring this out to there, which means these all need to come out a little bit more. And then we're going to have a line go from here to here. And I'll come back and check this later, make sure that it's clean. At the moment, I'm not too worried about it. There. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring this back into the page. Was that for 1? Yeah, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to put this down here with the spare. It makes me think of Harry Potter. Least favorite scene. One of my least favorites. Okay, there. All right. Neat. So if we do this, it really needs a deeper check, but I think this is pretty much it. Because I'm not doing I'm not drawing a power supply box. Maybe I could add the text. But yeah. 1590019. Oh, neat. Thank you so much. Who made it? Okay, cool. Then we can fix that note because it is legible. It's legible enough. All right. Yeah, so I need to give this another look over, but I'm just briefly looking. I think we got pretty much everything. There's probably missing something here or there. I'm just curious. I want to see where the E or C is going to come. So first one, and I wish I could ask who is not annotate it, not okay, the horizontal. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to call this L100. And then I'm going to add, we're just going to actually take that out. I'm going to call that L100 and hide it. And on this one, we're going to call this one L101 and hide it. Oh, give me a break. Okay. And then I'm going to add text for horizontal. The basic problem is KiCad wants designators to have a number at the end, and these don't. So we'll do it this way. I guess I could name them vert 1 and horizontal 1, but let's do that. Okay, let's run that. I wish I could just like run one ERC thing. Like right now, all I want to know is who is not annotated. Huh. Duplicate items. Yeah, okay. Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, that's a problem. I don't know how we're going to handle that. All right, I'll figure that out later. Handle off-board connectors. The problem is this isn't on the PCB. This is a separate board, but it doesn't make sense to make a separate file for this for 4 parts. These aren't even parts. These are the connectors that go on the back of the thing on the tube. All right. I'm not sure how that would work. I really don't like how this works. There. Yeah, okay, so one thing we could do is we could just turn these into graphics and then use net labels. Yeah. But looking around, that's like our only that's like the only real errors is it's mad about that. Let's take the warnings out of here. Yeah. Okay. The power pin stuff, that's fine. We can fix that later. So, okay. I skipped dinner, so I think this is a good stopping point because I'm hungry. So I'm going to stop here. I will probably clean this up offline. I don't know that we'll do another stream with it because it just needs a couple of things cleaned up, and then I think ERC will be happy. If I find something major, then we'll work on this again. But I think I'll just finalize this one and call it good. Because what I really want to do is I want this one to be done, and then I want to go back and I want to finish the MC10, which has a couple of things left on it, and then I want to do a Mega 2 project because there's some design work involved. So, all right, everybody, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all of the help and the support, all those good things. As always, we do have a Discord if you want to keep the conversation going. If you happen to be watching the stream and you're not subscribed, feel free to click that subscribe button. I stream most Thursdays at whatever 2 hours and 10 minutes ago was in your time zone. That's when I start. And yeah, so let's see. So we'll have a new Atoms video next week. Small chance of a new Workbench Wednesdays next week. So we'll see how that works out. Yeah, cool. Well, thanks again, guys. I hope you... yeah, GB, when are you going to do that Mac Plus schematic? Huh? No, I'm just teasing. So yeah, so thanks, guys. Appreciate the support. I hope you find time to work on something you like doing, and if you do, please share it. All right, take care, have fun, catch you later.